as a religion of dissent at that point of time. And that is why our constitution, while guaranteeing freedoms, specifically cherishes the freedom of speech and expression, freedom of thought and expression as one of the objectives mentioned in the preamble of the constitution. And we are very fortunate that this was Article 19(1)(a), which guarantees freedom of speech and expression, was one of the darling articles of the Supreme Court. All other fundamental rights you will find some kind of restrictive interpretation by the Supreme Court, but right from day one, Supreme Court has been very generous with respect to freedom of speech, which also include freedom of press. We don't have separate provision for the freedom of press like US Constitution. So Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution also includes, this was done in 1950s, in Ramesh Thapa versus State of Madras, Brijbhushan versus Delhi, Sakal Papers Limited versus State of Maharashtra, then Indian Express, Bennett Coleman. We have number of cases, series of cases where Supreme Court guaranteed and Supreme Court clearly established that freedom of press is very, very crucial for the Indian democracy, constitutional democracy. Even till recently, when one provision of the IT Act was declared ultra-vires unconstitutional, and Shreya Singhal versus Union of India. So freedom of speech and expression and freedom of press, in my opinion, is one of the most sacred, most important fundamental right which, as a human being in a civilized system, we have been given. We have been given by the nature. But if we see the recent practice and the kind of media, the media structure globally, it is not only India, we find there is a decline in the freedom of press. There is a decline in the accountability. Freedom comes with accountability. Power, it comes with accountability. Greater power comes with greater accountability. Media we call fourth pillar of democracy. So fourth pillar of democracy must be accountable to the people, like all other institutions, parliament, executive and judiciary.
Yogesh Pratap Singh, in his inaugural speech, elaborately described various aspects of our constitution: justice, liberty, freedom of press. And he referred also to my father. Then I remember in the 80s, I asked a question to my father, late Pangshumohan Law, that why you started English newspaper in the year 1959 when there was not even Bengali newspaper, one or two small newspapers. Then we could have earned a lot and we could be economically very sound. Then he replied that, listen to me, my son. My father also a senior advocate, one of the busiest advocates of the state. In spite of that, he started the newspaper in the year 1959 in English. Then what I was on that he replied that I did not start it for any commercial purpose. Tripura is the remotest part of our independent India. Maximum people we had crossed over the border due to unfortunate partition. We had, the people of Tripura had so many grievances, so many demands, so many needs. And we are Bengali speaking people. The policymakers stay in Delhi. Who will ventilate how we shall express our demands, our needs, our grievances? So, the object of starting English newspaper in the year 1959 was that he said it will create a bridge between the remotest part of India, the state, Tripura, and Delhi. Delhi people, the legislators, the policymakers, they do not understand Bengali, and English is the only medium to make them understand about our needs. With that object in view, I started English newspaper. I know because as was a professional man, he managed the running of the expenses. However, this was the object. Now, what I wanted to say, that what is the object of a journalist, of a press? Here lies the object which we wanted to achieve. We have to analyze ourselves.
But if this is beyond reasonable restrictions, so
We see that in Article 19.1a, 19.1, freedom of speech and expression is written. There is no words like freedom of press. But Supreme Court has evolved that freedom of speech and expression includes freedom of press. This is the interpretation and evaluation, and it is the constitutional morality adopted by the constitutional courts, particularly the Supreme Court being the highest court of interpretation of our country. Now, sovereign, let us forget that any legislation made by any state or not. Let us legislate ourselves. In my opinion, as a citizen of India, we must make our own code of conduct. And in every state, the journalists, the press people, the media houses, by their own character and conduct, has to render the constitutional duties following the constitutional morality encrypted in our constitution and in the preamble. A free and responsible press is essential for democracy to survive and flourish. The press acts as the voice of the people and as the watchdog of institutions. It informs the public, exposes wrongdoing, highlights injustices, and creates space for public debate. It brings the activities of government under scrutiny and ensures transparency in public affairs. Although the Constitution does not expressly mention freedom of press, Article 19.1a, which I say, freedom of speech and expression forms its constitutional foundation. Over the decades, the Supreme Court has consistently recognized that a free press is integral to the functioning of a democratic society. Now its independence is a delicate balance. The press informs the people legitimize the Constitution protects the press. This relation is delicate. It must be nurtured with care. When the press becomes weak, misinformation and disinformation grow. When citizens stop questioning, power becomes unaccountable. When constitutional values are ignored, democracy becomes hollow. Thus, all three must work in harmony. The Constitution, the people, and the press are not separate. They are interconnected pillars. the Constitution grants rights and protections to both citizens and the press. Now, in this complex state of affairs, the journalists, the press people have to face huge, substantial challenges. We live in a world of rapid communications, social media influence and information that travels faster than ever before. This environment presents opportunities but also challenges. The rise of misinformation, increasing polarization, pressures on media independence, and declining trust in institutions. In such times, the responsibility of the press, the vigilance of the people, and the integrity of institutions, including the judiciary, become even more important. The objectives our Constitution enshrines. As you know, our Constitution is a very living document, evolving document. Judiciary, by way of interpretation, particularly the Supreme Court India, being the highest court, interpreted by the process of interpretation, evolved the law. I think Mr. Mahajan has told about that many were critical to our Constitution. At this juncture, when you were telling this thing, or just you were telling, no? I remember Sir Ivory Jennings, who had a crucial role in drafting British Constitution, and he also was entrusted with the drafting of Constitution of Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. In his speech in the year 1956 at Madras University, he spoke that Indian Constitution is too long, too prolix, too rigid, and it is a Constitution drafted basically by lawyers and politicians. Now, with the passage of time, what we found that after 7-8 years, the Constitution he drafted for Sri Lanka became inoperative. Because the Constitution he drafted, it was static, too rigid. Our Constitution is a living, breathing document. Every moment it breathes. Today also, when I was coming to the court, I was just going through some news. Our present Chief Justice, just newly elevated Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kant, he passed an order, he suggested the Union of India and the government of West Bengal to bring back the persons who were pushed to Bangladesh very recently, so that they can be heard. A reasonable opportunity should be given to them of being heard, that yes, they have to defend their case, whether I am a legally entitled, I have become a citizen or not, without giving them any opportunity. They should not be pushed back to Bangladesh. So this is one of the examples in Supreme Court work. Now, what the journalist, the ethical journalism, if we speak about, I must speak about constitutional morality. Constitutional morality, you know, is not written, explicitly written in our Constitution. But it is implicit in the preamble itself. So constitutional morality is rooted to the Constitution itself, and the press, the journalists, the people, the press always work for the people of the state. for the people of the country, nation. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar once said that the Constitution is a vehicle of life, and like any vehicle, it must be driven with wisdom and responsibility. The responsibility lies with us, citizens, students, academicians, journalists, and institutions alike. Citizens are not mere recipients of rights. They are guardians of constitutional values. The future of our republic will be shaped not only by the laws we enact, but by the character and consciousness of our people. So, we are the custodian of our democracy. We are a democratic country, and we the people are the custodians of democracy. In our preamble, it starts with the words, "We the people of India." These words are not just symbolic. The guiding spirit of Constitution is "We the people of India," that is, the people are supreme through the Constitution of India and not the elected representatives. As observed by Supreme Court in Usha Bharti of the State of Uttar Pradesh, AIR 2014 SC, Supreme Court 1686. So at the beginning we read, today when at the very beginning we read preamble, where the word sovereign is used. Now sovereign has two aspects: external sovereign, internal sovereign. Internal sovereign that says that the state can legislate any law to prevent degradation or any offensive which affect offensive language or words, or what we must do the way forward. On this Constitution Day, I will not prolong. On this Constitution Day, let us renew our commitment to strengthening the triad of the press, the people, and the Constitution. People must become responsible consumers of information before forwarding, liking, or believing, verify. The press must recommit itself to accuracy and integrity. Truth is not a slogan, it is a discipline. Institutions must support the independence of journalism. A fearful press cannot be a free press. Students must cultivate constitutional thinking, read, question, debate, dissent, analyze. This is how democracies grow. Society must protect spaces for diverse opinions. Democracy is not agreement, it is respectful disagreement. We must uphold the dignity of every individual. Fraternity is not merely a word, it is the emotional foundation of our republic. I appeal to all youths present here and outside. Dear students, you are living in a time of both possibility and uncertainty. The choices you make today, what you read, what you believe, what you amplify, what you stand for, will shape India's destiny. You are the generation that will reform the legal system, strengthen journalism, innovate governance, uphold justice, and protect the Constitution. Let your education make you not only skilled professionals, but also ethical citizens. Let your voice be guided not by anger, but by understanding, not by prejudice, but by humanity, not by fear, but by truth. Remember the powerful words of Dr. Ambedkar. The quote, The Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life, and the young are the drivers of that vehicle. Now, to conclude, before I conclude, I want to say, as we stand together on this Constitution Day, let us remind ourselves that democracy is not a gift, it is a responsibility. The Constitution gives us rights, the people give them meaning, and the press ensures they are protected. Let us honor this sacred partnership. Let us nurture it with wisdom. Let us defend it with courage. Let us serve it with integrity. Let us reaffirm our commitment to truth, justice, transparency, and the rule of law. Let us work together to build a society where the Constitution is honored, the people are empowered, and the press remains free and responsible. May we build a nation where truth is valued, justice is accessible, freedom is fearless, and constitutional ideals shine in everyday life. Thank you.